Our Republican colleagues had a choice to make today. They could have chosen to deal with the affordability crisis with which one American family after another is struggling from lost health care forced on them by these Republicans, millions who don't have access to a family physician as a result of their costly legislation. Millions that are struggling with paying the illegal Trump tariffs, the tariff taxes about which these previous free traders have been totally silent in the Trump era. Are those who are suffering as a result of his reckless war in Iran, paying these huge prices for gasoline, food, and most everything else. But instead, they chose, instead of American affordability, that what they would focus on today is giving Trump more weapons to maintain his regime. And like authoritarians around the world, to attack non-governmental organizations that he cannot control. And so what they've done today is to invent a new tax that can be imposed on non-governmental organizations, community organizations, that is triggered by the undefined phrase, quote, an organization that fails to exercise discretion and control over the use of its funds. Now, neither of the terms there is defined in the bill. The bill never says who decides this, by what measure, or whether a charity ever sees the evidence or even has the right to appeal after summarily facing penalties. So the Trump administration can set a trap. That's what this legislation and the other bills we've considered today are all about, trapping those who don't heed to the Trump regime dogma. And they can decide whether a community organization has, quote, corrected, and often after the administration says no, it can confiscate a donation. This is an oversight. This is intimidation. That's why the nonpartisan National Council of Nonprofits has warned that this legislation will chill lawful activity, that fiscal sponsors will refuse the risk, and the casualties will be some of the smallest, most local groups, a PTA, a youth league, a volunteer group that use a sponsor because they don't really want or cannot afford a back office. And remember that fiscal responsibility or sponsorship under this bill is something that's important to a brand new charitable effort that would otherwise have to wait months for the IRS to recognize its tax-exempt status. And a fiscal sponsor lets it begin the work now, receiving tax-deductible support under the wing of an established charity until it can stand on its own. This is even more important now that DOJ and Trump have really eviscerated the IRS workforce so taxpayers can't get timely responses. It's how a relief group can open a tent clinic in the days after a hurricane, or a town can pull together resources to celebrate its America's 250th celebration, how a small, short-lived project shares one back office rather than building its own from scratch. This is not some clever loophole. It's been the law since at least the 1950s, and today it stewards more than $3 billion a year for charitable organizations all over this country. Republicans claim that they're keeping charitable dollars from going into malign, unlawful ends, even terrorism. But the administration already has plenty of tools to stop charities from engaging in any unlawful activities. It's already a federal crime to send any group designated a terrorist organization a single dollar. We need not guess what lies ahead if this tool is granted to the administration, because the administration recently fired a fellow named Ken Keyes, who's well known in this room. I think he's had his fingerprints on most every loophole Republicans have placed in our tax code over the last decades. I've fought with him unsparingly, day after day, and yet to his credit, though we disagree so severely about tax loopholes and special advantages, he had the courage to say no to the weaponization of the tax code. And as a result, even though he was personal lawyer to President Trump in his various tax avoidance schemes, he's been dismissed, as have others, unwilling to weaponize the IRS against Trump's political enemies. This bill does nothing for oversight and everything for intimidation. And we've seen how this administration will weaponize the IRS against American citizens in ways that even President Nixon never envisioned. I yield back.